Welcome to Subramani. Many of us, hopefully most of us, would have a will in place. However, the will is not the only document that you need to leave for your children, because what happens, the will is a legal document. In fact, I would go to the extent of saying when a person has a will, the will should talk about the real estate. You can just say all mutual funds to be given to my son or daughter or wife or whatever you want to say, but full details may not be there in the will, because you may be making some changes, and even the lawyer might insist that don't put too many details in the will, just stick to the basic legal document that your real estate needs, because all other mutual funds, equity shares, etc. will anyway easily get transferred to the nominee as long as there is no dispute. So most of us require a will, and along with the will we could do something called a letter of intent or letter of instruction. The letter of instruction is a document over and above the will, which has much more details. It may not have any legal standing, but it could have lot of details about your family, what you exactly want to do with what, right? So this could be a document where you are saying, okay, I have invested in these 5 mutual funds, A, B, C belong to my should go to my wife, D should go to my son, and E should go to my daughter, right? So, and saying why this is to be used, or even saying how your wife should use the retirement bucket that you have caused, right? You can write all this in your letter of instruction. Nobody is going to, this is not a legal document. It could state where the will is placed, where it is kept, who are the people who are in charge, who is your chartered accountant for filing returns, what he does for your income tax returns, and who is your financial advisor for managing your investments, right? All those details could be there. You could say where, what are their names, phone numbers, contact numbers, etc. So just the will as your traditional estate planning document may not be sufficient. So you also say in this document why you have given your advanced health instruction, that is what should they do with you when you are unwell, how you want to be treated. Do you want to be treated at all for cancer, or do you want to be treated only for things like a broken leg or a broken arm, right? There is no great choice. But if you say you're 87 and you get cancer, do you want to say, I don't want to be treated, just give me palliative care, and I don't want to be don't put me in a hospital, just take me to the hospital, get the thing done and bring me back. I don't want to be admitted. I don't want you to spend more than 50 lakhs on my medical condition, right? I call that financial euthanasia. Just tell your hospital you don't have money, they'll let you go. So saying all this, making all the final arrangements, my body needs to be donated, my body needs to be cremated, needs to be buried, whatever are the final arrangements, that should be there in your letter of instruction. Your estate plan saying this is what I want, this is how I want my money to be used for this cause, I want this money to be given to charity. Please understand, your children will not do charity the way you thought they will, and if you have any such doubt, you have to do the charity during your life. Let me give you a simple example. There is a friend whose mother had said this money should be spent on doing for a gaushala, right? So she said a gaushala should get 50 lakhs. The son felt it was too high. He talked to the daughter, son and daughter, I'm not even getting into what they were. They decided that a gaushala is animal care, so we can give 10 lakhs for dog and cat and cow and whatever. I'm not even getting into right or wrong, but the final will, how it gets executed, is not in your hand. You're dead and gone, right? Even your lawyer you may not have nominated a lawyer to be the executor. So if your son and daughter are the executors, or your grandson is the executor, whoever, they decide, right? So some of these things which you mentioned, maybe it's very fond for you, maybe it's important for you, but your children may do it very differently than what you thought. So here you can write all those things. Hopefully all your children will read it, and one of them may feel guilty about what they are doing. In this you can write about how your dependents should be taken care of. Suppose you have minor children who are still dependent on you when you're on your death. You can say what kind of school, what kind of college, from which mutual fund to pay for it. All that can be mentioned. It is too much to expect to write all this in your will. Then list out all your financial assets and liabilities. That can be part of this, right? Unless you have a separate book which says these are my assets and these are my liabilities. Your bank account, your fixed deposits, your mutual fund, your life insurance, whatever you have. Right, all those things, financial assets, physical assets, saying I would this gold chain of mine should go to my son, this gold chain should go to my daughter-in-law, I would love my grandchildren to wear this gold jewelry which I have, this heirloom watch I'm giving to my son or my daughter or my driver, whatever you want to do, because you don't want all this mentioned in the will and make it very big and have put in a lot of clutter, because the will is going to be a document which your children or your inheritors, your spouse, is going to use for your for just transferring the house and things like that. Like I said, financial assets get transferred by nomination, so you don't really too much to bother about. All your retirement accounts, where they are, what is to be done, your investment accounts, your mutual funds, your insurance, your health insurance, because your health insurance may be for you and your spouse on your death. You may have to inform them. Your premium will go down for sure, and the policy has to be kept valid for your spouse to claim it, right? Yes, any loyalty or rewards program, your some virtual currency, if you're Bitcoin, mentioning all that, right? And some private equity in which you have invested, which is physically lying somewhere at home. All the physical documents, where they are, who is in charge, and what is to be done. Maybe even a small note explaining what your financial advisor does and what your chartered accountant does. What a dentist does and what a gynac does, people know, but what a financial advisor does, maybe a small note on that with his name, address, phone number, etc. if your spouse has not dealt with that person, right? Your vehicles, your real estate, how you want it to be used. Maybe you have a house which is a nice house in a good location and you want to give it off to a school or your local religious endowment, anything like that. So mentioning all that, mentioning about all your electronic devices, who should get my phone and who should get my camera, who should get my lenses, right? Those things you don't want to put it in the will. Like for me, one of the assets that I have is this subramani.com. Do I give it to my daughter or I'd give it to somebody else who is more interested in running it? I don't know. I have not yet thought about it. Right. So accessing your data, giving your passwords, right? So mentioning all that, password managers, your platforms, right? Documentation, people, I mean, all the people that you mention, all your consultants and your estate plan, how you want it done, your financial records, your property records, your vehicle records, your records about your household inventory. Maybe you have a lot of silverware, goldware, right? Apart from the jewelry which you have mentioned in the will, maybe you have some other things which you think are valuable and you think there is somebody who will think it is valuable, right? So all those to be mentioned. Maybe letters to loved ones, maybe saying I want you to do medicine, I want you to do, right? Depending on what age you die and what instruction you want to give. There are movies where you see a person who has died leaving letters for his children, saying this letter you will read when you're 18, this is at 21, this is at 25, this is at 45, right? Whatever you want to write, some of those things. All this could be a part of your letter of instruction given to, kept in your house in a particular place. Your spouse or children should know that it is all kept here. So on your death, maybe it can be a small ceremony where all this is opened and given away to the people. Preferably in sealed covers. If you are giving to your nephew, you're giving to your niece, you're giving to your son-in-law, whoever. So nice sealed covers to be opened maybe 15 days after your death. This is nothing to do with the will. Maybe in the will you don't even need to mention this. This will be a big exercise, maybe kept in a small bag all these different letters, different instructions. It's nice if you can do it. Not that everybody does it. I have not done it. I've made my will, but it is good to do for people with many children, complicated assets, etc. It's nice to do this because they also understand. Suppose you have two sons and you have given one son 1 crore, another son 90 lakhs. You explain there saying, I had given a loan to this guy and he has not yet repaid the money, then therefore he is getting 10 lakhs less, right? So mentioning some of these things is nice. You can't mention all this in the will, so mentioning it here makes sense. Thank you.